And we
What you
should be
what you
live.
drinking there? What you drinking there?
Diet tonic water.
Oh, and I am drinking sparkling water.
Still not seeing it on Facebook.
Oh,
Strange and bizarre. YouTube just said we're live. Oh, there we are on Facebook.
it didn't show up ahead of time. That's weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Hmm. Thank you, Facebook. I'll share it now.
Happy Turkey Day with your two favorite turkeys. What I wrote. Sure. I smiled. I raised a glass. And what does it have? Me looking down.
Yeah. At your diet tonic water.
That's right.
Boy, you're drinking the hard stuff tonight.
Oh, we already drank some good stuff earlier. We watched football, and the Tylers came over about 11:30 and left about 5:30.
Oh,
About 6 hours. They were at barbecue, so we were good.
oh, okay. That's good.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like I need to start dry January like this week.
After you go on a trip like you did, yeah, Mr. Rum Factory Tour.
Well, that was the most we had to drink.
Didn't you already do that rum tour? Or was
No,
that
we
in
took
Cayman? You've done a rum tour before while we were.
we do food tours just about everywhere we go, especially the first time we go. There's always something good. And of course there, if you're doing a food tour, rum is going to be in there somehow. But we did the rum tour, which was fun, and yeah, we drank a good bit, and
Copious.
so yeah, it was pretty good. It
All
was
right.
it was fun, except for one person was like, I can't eat eggs. I need to be gluten free, and I'm allergic to coconut. And he's like, that's about half of what I'm going to offer you today. Coconut rum, something with eggs in it. So yeah, that was
You signed up for the wrong tour, lady.
yeah. Well, he made it work. To his credit, he did a good job.
Good.
So
Good. All right, we got one viewer out there who's joined us. Thank you.
speak up.
Yeah, give us
Comment
a chat.
on it. Yeah,
Give us a
that's
shout,
right.
whoever it may be. And we are about to start the audio recording. So without further delay, let us begin episode 757. Oh, well, that sounds like a Boeing jet. You sure we want to do this?
I thought the same. I thought the same thing when I put the episode number in there.
Well, if the doors fall off or the wheels fall off or something falls off this podcast, it's not on us. How's that?
Okay. Fair enough.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 757. Cyber Turkeys 2. The Gobbling. Hey, welcome to Technorama, the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the show. My name is Chuck Tomasi from Phoenix, Arizona, and right over there is Craig Stepp from North Carolina. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to be back for a little while.
Yes.
We
just did a show 2 weeks ago, but it feels like we're just not on the ball yet.
I know. It feels like it was actually November. Feels like it skipped a few weeks and
Dashed
just went
right by. Absolutely.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because everybody says, "Oh, that's happening in December." I'm like, news flash. That's
in
next
1 week. Yeah, it's next week. Oh,
Chuck is such a buzzkill. It crept up on me too because I was thinking, "Oh, December 4th, yeah, and this is on December 5th, and that's a long week." No, it's not.
Yeah.
You're just like one swipe of the calendar page away.
You could have blinked and it'd have been November or December, excuse me. Yeah.
Well, I'm having a good time. How about you?
I am too. Went on a little vacation. It was nice in the Bahamas. Saw some. We took a detour. Went to a bat cave, not Batman's cave, but a bat cave.
Say hi to Alfred for me.
Yeah, we walked in and it was smaller than I think we envisioned it to be, but it was cool nonetheless. Met some locals and ate some food, and we had a good time. And the weather was great. It was like mid to upper 70s, And then we come home. I'm like, I'm glad I took a hoodie with me because it was like in the
Yes.
40s when we got out of the airport. So yeah. So, but
Well,
no, we
good.
had a great
Glad you got
time.
back
Yeah.
safely.
Hmm. Sure did.
All right. Shall we begin? We have some feedback. We have a question of the week that we asked our listeners last week. Got a lot of good contributions. First,
Yes, we did.
music.
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say. Oh boy, mailman, mail today.
Hey, all right. So I got to confess something. As long as
Yes.
we've been doing this podcast and we've had that little sound effect where he goes, reach out and pull one out and he goes, shh.
Yes.
I've been meaning to have a piece of paper here so I can just rip it at the same time, but I never do.
Should we find out how it sounds? Reach right out and pull one out. Not quite the same. Let's
Sounds
try
like
it a
you're
little
tearing-
further from the
Hey.
mic. Reach right out and pull one out.
sounds like
Closer.
you're tearing a contract. But yeah, I've never in like 10, 15 years or more, I have never had a piece of paper here to rip out.
You had to have
so,
tryouts for that one. I've clearly
Yeah.
failed.
yeah.
All right. Our question of the week comes from listener Steve. He says, what would be the dumbest, lamest, and most boring superpower you could have that gave you the edge over normal people? And he answered his own question, which is always nice. You know, if you submit a question, you might want to have an answer in mind. He said, always roll +1 on a d20. So never a natural one and twice the numbers of a natural 20. And be 10% luckier than everyone else. Luck +10.
Luck be a 20 tonight.
That worked.
Clinton Alvord, our buddy, Topicus Trek friend, comedy forecast. He said the ability to fly 1 millimeter off the ground. Well,
Save your shoes.
hey Clinton, white men can't jump. Don't you
Your
know?
shoes would be lasting a lot longer because you wouldn't have any friction wearing out the soles. Mike Robinson says being able to fully use the power of cheese.
I use the power of cheese all the time. I go in the fridge, get a little bit out.
Yeah, and then cheese has the power over you a little while later, if you know what I mean.
That's if you're lactose intolerant.
He also writes the ability to get random animals, most probably cats, to rickroll selected people. They will do this for as long as they can without endangering themselves. They will only be able to do this using the animal normal vocalizations.
Yeah. Hey, also Mike Robinson said, knowing exactly when food or drink will go bad. And I've got the answer to that. It's
There's
always
a date on the package.
well, it's always when I go to reach in to grab it, and use it. It's like, oh, it went bad yesterday.
And we're recording this on November 24th, and I realized I've got about a quarter gallon of milk left that expires today. So gonna have a chug fest tonight. Lisa says being able to read people's minds just to answer the age-old question of what do you want for dinner? Good luck with that, because nobody ever seems to give me a straight answer.
I
don't
know.
know. I was thinking about this or that or it. You
Oh,
just want to
man.
reach right in and get that. You're literally getting a spaghetti mess.
The other night, we literally, 3 of us, my wife and my son and I, were all like, okay, let's go here. I was halfway to the place. No, let's go to here. And we changed course. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's go back to the other. I'm like, pick a place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We were literally in the
Mike
car.
Robinson he comes back and says, animate poo. And Steve Lennon said, well, Hollywood has been making movies, so
Yeah.
you will not have to sit alone with that mutation.
Oh, boy. Oh, okay. Sounds like Mike Robinson was just busy or had nothing else to do this week. Knowing exactly where to stand when something happens.
And I said, you mean like knowing when to stand? Oh, where to stand? I thought it was when to stand. I said, you mean like at sporting event? Some people don't know when to
Oh,
stand
yeah.
and when to sit down. He said, everywhere, sporting events, rainstorms, cave-ins, any situation that might include certain spot where it would be most advantageous to be in/at. Okay, now I understand. I read it wrong. I thought it was knowing when to stand.
Well, yeah, and one of those times is during a concert. You never can sit down at a concert.
Not anymore,
like-
you can't.
No, as soon as you sit down and as soon as the band starts, everybody stands up in front of you. So,
Well, unless you're at, one of those 5th grade violin concerts at grade school where they lock you in the gym on those hard metal
Right.
chairs. Then
Yeah.
you want to stand but can't.
right there, that's true too. Mike Robinson also said, opening metal food cans with telepathy, just cans, nothing else.
Oh, see, mine involved telepathy also, but I said telekinesis that only works to untie someone else's shoelaces. On your
Right.
marks, get set. Woo, 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 woo.
Right.
Gary Lindros said the ability to turn to stone at will. You can't move, but you won't get cold.
Can you revert back?
Wait, what if you're stone cold? Cold as can you revert back? He didn't give you that. I feel like this is one of those lessons you learn at Hogwarts in 2nd year.
I was thinking more like the ability to turn to stone, and you can't turn back. It's like those goats that you scare, and
Right.
the fainting goats, and they just fall over, and you're done.
Petrificus totalis. All right, Snape. What's the way to get somebody unpetrifica totalis?
Right. Brian Brown said, your drink always stays cold or hot to your preference, or you can automatically clean yourself and your clothes you are wearing.
Hey, that'd be handy. No more
Hmm.
laundry. You just whoosh.
Yeah, I need to take a shower. And you're done.
I threw in another one. I said, how about a muscular build / strength / endurance without working out?
just pop and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
huge and strong, and I can run 50,000 kilometers without
Well,
getting.
Chuck, you can do that if you take one of those little CO2 cartridges.
Yes.
And well, I'm not going to tell you where to put it, but just never mind. So
Rocket power.
Brian, yeah, right. Brian Parker said the ability to convince anyone on Earth at any time that you are the bass player for Chumbawamba.
I'll get knocked down, but I get
Yeah.
up again. Bass player.
That's pretty good.
Can you get me tickets? No.
Yeah.
T. Michael Rolliet says the ability to make objects near a person moist. This is starting to sound like Dr. Horrible.
I know. Yeah. Well, here's one from your sister, Martha Tomasi. The ability to change channels on your TV with your mind.
I think you
I
can
met-
almost do that now.
Hey, imagine if you had that. Yeah, if you had that power back in the day when they were just introduced the clicker remote.
Oh,
You
before
just
the
go, "Wait a
clicker, you need to get up
you
and
just go like
manually
this."
change it.
You just sit there and go, "Wait a minute."
I
Yeah,
got
I
Lone
got
Guy's
this.
Night said the ability to create hand-sized wormhole from wherever I was to the bottom shelf of my refrigerator. It wouldn't trigger the light or turn on, and the light wouldn't pass between where I was and the fridge. So I'd have to know what was there, and to bring it through, it would need to be small enough to fit through the hole.
All right. If I did this, you know what would appear? So if I opened a wormhole and things that were under the fridge came out, I would get a bunch of cat toys.
Dust
Because that-
bunnies.
Well,
No, it's like to the bottom shelf of the fridge.
bottom shelf. I was just thinking all the things that I usually find under the fridge is usually a handful of cat toys or rubber balls that they play with, and then they get stuck and they leave.
Isn't the
They
bottom
can't get
shelf
it.
of the fridge where all the nasty stuff collects anyway, like onion skins and
Ooh,
spilled
Ew.
Dr. Pepper from 2 years ago.
the takeout sandwich you never finished.
Those packets of whatever it was that you thought you need packets of that you never used.
Ketchup, you mean?
Ketchup, mustard, soy sauce, plum sauce, you name it, it's probably in there.
Ugh. All
We
right.
got some more stories for you. Hang on for that. But first, we got to do the history. That reminded me of something I wanted to say earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Later. On this day in history for November 27th. I know I didn't play the feedback outro thing, but we're going to go fast tonight.
Yeah.
November 27th, 2024. It's the 332nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are just, get this, goodbye November. There are 34 days remaining in 2024.
Yikes.
It was on this date in 1839 that in Boston,
Hmm. Hello. Hello. Is it just me or is Chuck frozen? Let's see. I don't know. Is it just me or is Chuck frozen? I'm going to go and look at the Topic is Trek podcast page and see. Yeah, Chuck's frozen. So we'll give it. Oh, he dropped off. I'm glad it wasn't me because I was afraid it was for a minute. So let's give him a second to come back. Hopefully he'll come back. Yeah, hopefully. This is all. I always hate this stuff. After all these years, you think we'd have technology figured out by now, and we can make video voice calls. Well, we kind of do, but anyway. Well, here I'll read the next one. 100 years ago in New York City, the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was held. Should I just go through them all until he comes back? I think I'll do that. CARE, then the Cooperative for American Remittances in Europe, was founded to send care packages of food relief to Europe after World War II on this date in 1945. November 27th, 1968, Penny Ann Early became the first woman to play a major professional men's basketball league, or play in it, for the Kentucky Colonels in an ABA game against the Los Angeles Stars. Let's see. Also on November 27th, 1971, the Soviet space program's Mars 2 orbiter released a descent module. It malfunctions and crashes, but it was the first man-made object to reach the surface of Mars. By accident, I guess. It was also on this date in 2001 that a hydrogen atmosphere was discovered on an exoplanet Osiris by the Hubble telescope. The first atmosphere detected on an extrasolar planet. All right, this just in from Chuck. Let's see. What is he saying? Okay, StreamYard blinked on him. I know that. All right. So happy birthday on this date goes out to Swedish astronomer, physicist, and mathematician Anders Celsius, born on this date in 1971. And Cornelius Vanderbilt II, the American businessman, was born 181 years ago today. Giovanni Giorgi, the Italian physicist and engineer, was born on this date in 1871. And Norwegian American chemist and physicist, Nobel Prize laureate Lars Onsager was born 121 years ago today. A Russian mathematician and theorist, Anatoly Maltsev, that's close enough, born on this date in 1909. And Buffalo Bob Smith, American actor and television host, was born on that same date in 1971. 1917, excuse me. American nuclear scientist, mechanical engineer, and mathematician J. Ernest Wilkins Jr. was born 101 years ago today. Welsh chemist, physicist, and journalist John Maddox was born on this date in 1925. American singer-songwriter, guitarist, and producer Jimi Hendrix was born 82 years ago today. Imagine what kind of music he would have put out between then when he passed away and today. or if his life didn't end as early as it did. Also turning 72 today is American captain, engineer, and astronaut Jim Weatherby. American engineer, educator, and television host Bill Nye is 69 today. And last but not least, turning 67 today is American game designer and author Michael A. Stackpole. So let's check on the status of Chuck. He's still not in. And I'll scroll on down here. So we got listener birthdays. Let's see what Chuck said real quick. He's rebooting his stuff. I paused the recording, is what he said. We'll probably read all these again. Listener birthdays in November. Brad P. from NJ, but who was born in VA and moved back there. Okay. November 28th is our buddy Ben Sweetser. And December 1st is Claudio Miranda. And I haven't seen him online for a long time. I wonder how he's doing. And December 2nd, Ben Frixel from the Mac Mania podcast. All right, so he paused the recording. He rebooted his equipment. He's going to be coming back. I have a feeling we're going to be redoing the on this day, and which is all right because I kind of did a dry run. So let's wait a second. So I don't know about everybody else, but I've been playing around with Blue Sky, and seems like there's a big push to go over there. I seem to like it. I'm trying to get my arms wrapped around it and understand it, or my head wrapped around it, I guess, and understand a little bit better. But not too bad. I've also been playing with Threads, which I like too, but Threads seems a little touchy. As soon as you go to read something, it just read it, not interact with it any other way other than look at somebody's post. It starts changing your algorithm, and you start getting, you must love these posts. So I don't know. It just reminds me of Instagram a little bit too much. It's a little too hippie, but Blue Sky seems all right. Just testing it out because, like I said, a lot of people are moving over from X, Twitter, over to Blue Sky, and at least that I was seeing online. So I thought I'd give it a shot. I've actually had an account there for a while, but really haven't done a whole lot with it. So I'll start posting there probably this week and do that some. I do miss the early days of Twitter. That was a lot of fun. All right, you're back.
What did I miss?
I just went ahead and read the whole on the stay. So
no need. I've got the recording on pause. I read the first line, so you get to pick up at 100 years ago today. As soon as I go 3, 2, 1, and we'll resume the music.
All right, well, everybody's got to hear it one more time. So, are you ready?
They'll hear it right.
All right.
There you go. 3. I've never done a pause and resume before, so this is first time for everything. 3, 2, 1. Hold on.
100 years ago today in New York City, the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was held. 100 years ago. Wow.
The music isn't playing.
That's okay.
That's all right. We'll keep going. All right. CARE, then the Cooperative for American Remittances to Europe, was founded to send care packages of food relief to Europe after World War II on this date in 1945.
And November 27th, 1968, Penny Ann Early became the first woman to play in a major professional men's basketball league. In a major professional men's basketball. I think that's worded weird.
You already read this once, right? Can't imagine.
I know, but I tripped over it last time because it's not worded right.
Yeah, it is.
Played for the no, it's not. And for the Kentucky Colonels in an ABA game against the Los Angeles Stars.
If you're wondering, dear listener, what happened, for some reason the power or the internet glitched out on my end. I've rebooted everything, and now Craig and I are reconnected. If you're watching the live stream, this is a bit of a repeat because you already read all this stuff. So sorry for that little glitch. We're going to keep going. Also on November 27, 1971, the Soviet space program's Mars 2 orbiter released a descent module. It malfunctioned and crashed, but it was the first man-made object to reach the surface of Mars. Just not the way they wanted.
Not safely, but it did.
Bag of garbage.
It was on this date in 2001 that a hydrogen atmosphere was discovered on an extrasolar I did the same thing again. Extrasolar planet Osiris by the Hubble telescope. The first atmosphere detected by an extrasolar planet on an extrasolar planet.
Happy birthday that goes out in this date too. Swedish astronomer, physicist, and mathematician Anders Celsius. Guess what he invented?
Kelvin.
Hot dogs, right. He was born
Yeah.
in the state in 1701. NCC
Right.
1701.
Yeah, there you go. And Cornelius Vanderbilt II, American businessman, was born 181 years ago today.
Guess what Vanderbilt? Giovanni Giorgi, the Italian physicist and engineer, was born on the same date in 1871.
And Norwegian American chemist and physicist, Nobel Prize laureate Lars Onsager was born 121 years ago today.
Russian mathematician and theorist Anatoly Maltsev was born on this date in 1909.
And Buffalo Bob Smith, American actor, television host, was born on that same date in 1917.
The Howdy Doody Buffalo Bob Smith.
That's right. Yes.
American nuclear scientist, mechanical engineer, and mathematician J. Ernest Wilkins Jr. was born 101 years ago today.
And Welsh chemist, physicist, and journalist John Maddox was born on this date in 1925.
Well, American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer Jimi Hendrix was born 82 years ago.
Imagine the music he would have made throughout those years. That'd been awesome, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So also turning 72 today is American captain, engineer, and astronaut Jim Weatherby.
American engineer, educator, and television host, the other man with the bow tie, Bill Nye, is 69 today.
And also turning 67 today is American game designer and author Michael A. Stackpole.
I do believe that man has spent time in this very studio.
Yes, he has.
Happy birthday to our listeners. Go out on the state too, November 27th. Brad P. from NJ, but who was born in VA and has moved back there, last we heard.
Sure.
Let us know if you moved again. Also on the 28th, former co-worker, longtime listener, Ben Sweetser. December 1st is Claudia Miranda, and December 2nd is Ben Frixell from the MacMania podcast. If it's still in business, let's find out. That's the way it was on this day in history for November 27th, 2024. Remember, if you have a birthday this week, we wish you all the best. Happy birthday. Have a great time. Spend it with loved ones. And if you're not on the calendar, you can always go over to chuckchat.com/birthday and add it to the calendar. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. So all the best to you. Everybody stay safe. And we're going to get the marching band out of here. Bye. All right.
Hey, by the way, the MacMania podcast looks like it stopped in 2012. It's just funny. Not funny that it ended. It's just funny that
Formerly of the MacMania podcast.
No. What I'm saying, what I mean is, it's funny how long we've been doing podcasting and the time frames we're talking like, 14 years
Decades.
ago. Yeah,
Caleb from Dancing with Elephants.
yeah. He's 32 and has a family of 4.
Each of them has podcasts.
Yeah, they disbanded, did their own podcast.
All right, let's do some news. Let's see. Let's pick this one.
Oh, great news, everyone.
All right. I'm sure most of you have already seen pictures of this or heard it on the news, but I could not resist because it just screamed Technorama to me.
The banana.
The viral banana artwork has sold again. Yes, the duct tape banana to a wall. Italian artist Maurizio Catalan's Comedian. That's the title of this art. It's a banana duct taped to the wall, titled
Right.
Comedian. A conceptual artwork comprising a banana stuck to a wall with duct tape, sold on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, for $6.24 million at a Sotheby's auction in New York. I want to know how rotten the banana was by the time it got sold.
I was just wondering the same thing. It's got to be a fake banana.
Must be. If it is, then I can applaud this as art because it looks like a real banana. If it's a real banana, well, dang, I'm just going to start duct taping fruit to other stuff, like a billboard. Here's a eggplant or a cop car. Have a apple. Just
By the way, this tomato doesn't hold very well, but
no.
yeah.
How often does he have to come in and update the banana? Because they only last in my house about 4 days.
Okay,
It was
so
originally sold in 2019 for $120,000. Social media uproar and an age-old debate about the meaning of art ensued. You know, I see this, and I think I could be an artist.
you feel inspired.
I do. Then
Hey.
again, I see some of our politicians, or lack thereof, and feel like I should probably run for public office. Anytime you
Oh.
say, hey, I could do a better job than that, well, that's practically how I got into podcasting. And look what
Yeah.
happened to me.
Well, if you want to start putting fruit paper with or canvas with duct tape, great artist still, Chuck.
That's right. I'm going to use colored duct tape.
Yeah. I was trying to even on Wikipedia it says the creation of an edition of he made 3. It appears as a fresh banana affixed to the wall with duct tape. It doesn't say anything about whether it was real or not. I can't imagine it was real.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the guy who forgot to do his homework assignment. Like, oh crap, I gotta slap something together. Like, there's an art showing tonight. No,
Yeah.
really? Let's see what I got hanging around the kitchen. Duct tape, banana. We'll go with that.
Chuck, you didn't spend time on your homework again. You forgot, didn't you?
No, no, no. I call this comedian. Someone's a
laugh.
comedian.
That's right. Getting the
They'll
laughs.
never amount to anything. Take that, 6 point whatever million dollars.
It says Wikipedia does say a fresh banana.
Then you'd have to change it because who wants to
It
buy
was
an old
purchased-
rotten banana?
He says he purchased them in a Miami grocery store for an estimated 30 cents. I'd say the investment was worth it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Hmm.
I don't
All
know
right,
how.
upping the
it
price on some stuff. I mean, maybe you could afford this if you followed our next article over at unilad.com, where they write, there's an asteroid out there worth 10, hang on, I got to count these up, billion,
Yeah.
trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, what comes, I know septillion is 7, the next one, what's between quintillion and septillion?
Yeah, it's like 10
Septillion?
septillion. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there's an asteroid worth a whole crap load of money. In fact, at this point, you should probably go with exponential notation. 1.0 E17 or something. Okay, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 zeros in that, people. They said if NASA could capture this, then everyone on Earth would pretty much be a billionaire. How would that work if everybody has a boatload of money? Wouldn't somebody just go, well, now bananas are $10 million?
Hey. Yeah, I was gonna say we could all afford that comedian. Then. So yeah.
Or
But
at least a pizza.
Well, you know what I thought funny about this? They said, "Oh, we bring this back. It would afford everybody on Earth, $1.2 billion." But wouldn't you think that once everybody kind of had that, it would be like worthless?
Uh-huh.
Because so
Mhm.
what's the point?
Right. At that point, you go, why do we even need money? I mean, it would certainly change the whole principle of economics.
It's like that's I forget what story it was where the supervillain was trying to make everybody have superpowers, and once they did that, nobody was super anymore because everybody had abilities.
Wasn't that
super,
part of the premise of The Boys as well?
I think that's where I was looking at. So yeah, something like that.
Well, the story gets in a little deeper, of course. They say last month, NASA sent SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket to go and probe 16 Psyche, one of the largest discovered M-type asteroids. The spacecraft will travel 2.2 billion miles or 3.5 billion kilometers to its destination located in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Most asteroids that we know of are made up of rock and ice, but this one is pretty special because it's composed of metals which could greatly benefit our economy, hence its huge monetary value. So again, if you brought back a whole bunch of gold, let's just say, wouldn't that devalue gold?
That's right, because there's a finite amount on Earth.
The reason it's so expensive is because of the scarcity. And if it wasn't scarce, well, then you'd be talking like, well, it's as valuable as zinc. So
I just watched a video. I'm trying to remember how much they said how much gold is actually estimated to be on Earth. And it
most
was
of it's
shockingly,
underground. Most of
but
it
it was
is
shockingly a small number.
that's on the surface, though. You got to remember the heavier metals sink. It's only been
No, no,
brought to the surface through
right.
geologic forces.
What I'm saying is they estimated it, and it was like a lot less than you'd think.
I heard some pretty big estimates, actually.
I might have to
Anyway.
find that video and I'll send it to you. But
All righty.
yeah, I thought it was interesting they were talking about how much, and that's why obviously gold costs so much because you only have so much at hand. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the hacks and strange stories, shall we?
Yeah.
A smuggler was arrested in Peru trying to escape the country with 320 tarantulas, 10 centipedes, and 9 bullet ants strapped to its body.
Why? Why?
They're very valuable in other countries. Now, I had thought, the Indiana Jones scene where he's got tarantulas crawling all over him. No, they were in like little vials that had toilet paper stuck in each end.
Look, I think even the most seasoned person around these kind of things, if you had them just where they could crawl around you, wouldn't that just drive you nuts?
Right. They weren't crawling around me. I had them in these tubes.
Hey,
Said a
I know.
28-year-old South
Right.
Korean national was stopped at Jorge Chavez International Airport in Lima on November 8th after officials noticed that his stomach area looked, quote, bulky. According to a statement from the country's National Forestry and Wildlife Service, SAREFOR published on November 13th. The insects were packaged inside plastic containers and bags strapped to the man's abdomen. So they weren't going anywhere. Of course,
Hey.
these are some of the tarantulas are endangered.
Yeah. Right.
He was
And that's,
bringing it
of course,
back. I
that's
don't
why he
know
took them. But
who or for why, but they're
Yeah.
worth a lot of money. He said in December 2021, authorities in Colombia seized at least 232 tarantulas, 67 cockroaches, 9 spider eggs, and a scorpion with 7 of its young, all hidden in a suitcase at the El Dorado Airport in Bogota.
Well, one, I think it's kind of interesting how they stacked up all the insects and bugs like it was a cocaine bust. When they put them all on display.
Tupperware containers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
count them.
when I first thought about this, and I knew that they were in vials and containers, but I was thinking if they weren't, it would be my luck. I'm trying to walk through the airport as careful as I can.
Ow.
And that'd be the time
Ow.
somebody would.
Ow.
No, it'd be the time somebody bumps into you. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
It cracks the vials.
Yeah.
And the
Squash it.
bullet ants are out.
Yeah. Oh man, you just
Talk
cost me
about
$1,000.
invasive species, man. It's like we already have enough problems with, animals crossing borders and destroying
know.
the ecosystem of other countries. Like, why would you do this?
Yeah. I mean, well, we could talk about invasive species all day long, but I remember when we were camping in this area,
Yes.
some of the areas they are like the national parks, they discourage you from bringing wood from like another area into here. Like if I threw some in my car and we're going camping, as innocent as that sounds, well, there's a lot of stuff in that wood. When you burn it, insects get out, or it's just
Or if you take your boat from one inland lake to another, you may have things stuck to the hull of your boat that you didn't even know. So you're supposed to really hose it down and wash it out and make sure that your boat is clean before you put it in another lake, because you could be transferring anything from snail eggs to zebra mussels to who knows what.
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Oh, hey, by the way, real quick before we move on, I mentioned that I think it was just on the live stream, but I was just in the Bahamas for the week, and we were staying at Paradise Island where the Atlantis is at, and there's a big basketball tournament that was going on this weekend. But leading up to that, we saw these yachts pulling in, and I started looking up a few of them, and so a lot of them have web pages where you can rent them out, or you
Cool.
can they get, or some of them have information on how much it costs and how much. I saw multiple yachts that were at least worth 39, 40 million. And one of them, I have to show you the front of it. It looks like a Cylon. It's just the way it's designed. It looks pretty amazing.
Like the front
And
of a
some of those are like,
Lexus.
I have to show you. It's pretty. I like the design, but there's no way I'm spending 39 million on a boat. You know,
Not unless you're a Russian oligarch or something.
I know. Well, some of them it said it cost, 3 million a year for regular maintenance and operation.
Oh yeah, maintaining boats is not cheap. But you gotta have
No,
a,
it is not.
especially the bigger ones. You gotta have a crew that's on there, ready to go at any
Oh,
time.
I did send you a picture of one. Iron Man was in town. Did
Oh
you
right.
see it?
Yes.
It literally had the Iron Man logo with the text and everything was perfect. So, yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the Remember When, because we missed a story a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Ward Christensen, the BBS inventor and architect of our online age, has passed away at age 78. 78 used to seem really old till you get closer to 60. And it's like, ooh, that's not. So Ward Christensen, who was co-inventor of the computer bulletin board system, BBS, has died at age, they didn't really say which bulletin board system, but he died at age 78 in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. He was found deceased at his home on Friday after friends requested a wellness check. Christensen, along with Randy Seuss, created the first BBS in Chicago in 1978, leading to an important cultural era of digital community building. So if he died at 78 in 2024, and you take off 45-ish years, we'll call it. What is 78 minus 45? 33? So, okay, he was in his 30s when he did this.
Yeah.
In the 1980s and 90s, BBS has introduced many home computer users to multiplayer online gaming, message boards, and online community building. Present company included. I ran one. Actually, I ran two for a while. So friends and associates remember Christensen as humble and unassuming, a quiet innovator who never sought the spotlight for his groundbreaking work. Despite creating one of the foundational technologies of the digital age, Christensen maintained a low profile throughout his life, content with his long-standing career at IBM and showing no bitterness or sense of missed opportunity as the internet age dawned. That's really what put bulletin boards to sleep.
Well, actually, what a legacy, because if you think about it, the bulletin board systems, the way especially it was organized, was a precursor to the internet, and to a lot of ways how we engaged with the internet, with message boards and chatting and you name it. So a lot of what we were doing during the BBS era did bleed over and kind of form a little bit of what we got today.
I didn't realize this until I read the article. It says prior to creating the first BBS, Christensen invented X modem, the 1977 file transfer protocol that made much of the later BBS work possible by breaking binary files into packets and ensuring that each packet was safely delivered over sometimes unstable and noisy analog phone lines when your sister would pick up the phone while you were on the modem. It inspired other file transfer protocols that allowed ad hoc online sharing. I mean, X modem, Y modem, Z modem, C-Link, Kermit. This is interesting stuff that he was part of that.
Yeah, that's a big legacy right there. I know you told everybody before. What was the name of your bulletin board system?
The Enterprise.
That's right. I did know that. I wrote my own on my Commodore 64.
7342499. That was the number. That was the mainline number. I had like 5 lines at one point.
Now somebody in your old area codes me like, who keeps calling with the computer? Hanging up. Oh boy. Yeah. I wrote my own on my Commodore 64. It actually got so big I kind of ran out of memory, and I had to have 2 floppy drives to run it. One to store messages and stuff that people would save or send, and I didn't have many users, but it was just a fun exercise to really write the thing, to accept the call and present menus and
Mhm.
do that kind of stuff. That was a big fun thing to do.
Oh, Scott Reynolds really got into the whole system. He wrote a command line interpreter, um, that then menus, we put menus around that would then generate the commands. So if you wanted to read all new messages since your last visit, you could either type read all new or
Mm.
shorten it up to just two letters, REALNE. So read all new as two letters each, or you could navigate through the menu system, which was easier for beginners. So it was quite the feat.
That's pretty cool. I'd like to see that.
I would too if we had the media or something that could read the media.
I used to got the discs and stuff.
No, it was on last one I saw was on 8 millimeter tape, but that was easily 20 years ago.
Oh well, yeah.
Uh-huh. He may have it somewhere. He's got a basement full of archaic equipment. I'll have to ask him. We're going to talk next
Bet he
Saturday.
does. Yeah. All right.
All right. So farewell, Ward Christensen. We owe you a lot to our careers and our growth and our community and
Mhm.
everything else. All right. Quick shout out to the chat room. We do this show Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and YouTube. You are more than welcome to join us if you happen to be around. Just set your alerts to usual YouTube and Facebook notifications. Look for Technorama Podcast. Shouldn't have any problem finding us. We'd love to hang out with you and chat like Mike Robison, who's been chatting. Well, apparently my connection died. But hang out with us Sunday nights at 8:30 Eastern. On most Sunday nights, we try our best. Sometimes family and whatnot gets involved, and we have to have a bypass once in a while. At this point, we then thank our patrons. Yes, I love that music. Still love that
Sound like
music. It reminds me of the videos I've been watching on what was it, the AFK channel?
I think you're breaking up there, Chuck.
Or the Empire. Oh no, am I breaking up again?
Yeah, it's like you come and go.
Oh, okay. Well, it's recording fine on my end, so I'm just going to thank the patrons at this point, and
ahead.
you can let me know how we did at the end. So thank you to our patrons: Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez, Chris MC, Dan D. Mancoyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros. Thank you, John Clifford, John Noble, Yorga Schrowen, Crazy Joe, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Brad Miller, Mike Wills. Thank you, Saturday Morning Media, Steve Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Therian, Steve Webb, Steve London, and Tim Cook. And there's another row that says your name here. We want you to be part of the family. For as little as $1 a show, you can get a special episode of Technorama that we record right after this and release right before this. Kind of weird how that goes. But if you join right now, you can join us at Patreon episode 757 over at patreon.com/Technorama podcast. And then when Craig and I travel on things like Star Trek Cruise or Dragon Con, we send you a postcard. How's that for fun?
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody for participating in that. Let me fade that out. And that means it's time to talk about things we have been, not that music, this one, wrong blue button. Things we've been watching, reading, writing, listening to, etc.
You're breaking up really bad, Chuck.
Well, on your end, I am. So that's probably happening on the live stream too. But I'm still recording
Yeah.
on this end. So my audio is going to be solid and I can hear you just fine and I can see you just fine.
Okay.
So that's bizarre. We're going to
That is
soldier
bizarre.
on.
All right.
So, Craig, tell us a little bit about what you've been watching.
Well, I didn't watch the whole lot because this last week, as I mentioned, I was on vacation. So I did watch, or my wife and I watched A Man on the Inside, which is Ted Danson show. It's on Netflix, where he is a widower and his daughter is encouraging him to do, get a hobby or maybe take on a little job, kind of get himself out of a rut and meet some new people and stuff. So as an assistant private investigator, and he is on. He gets put into a assisted living home where he's meeting everybody and he's starting, you know, develop friendships and stuff. But he's
Mhm.
there to solve the crime that somebody had stolen some valuables from a couple of I sort of say patrons, the people that live there, the residents. And so that's what he's working on, and he's getting a little distracted because he's starting to become friends with them and enjoy this time there. So it's a pretty good show. It's a little slow. It's about 8 episodes. It's a little slow, but I think it's a sweet show at the same time. So I'm enjoying it. Kim was like, "Oh, it's so slow," but I'm invested in it now. So to keep
Lost
so
leader.
keep yeah, so keep that in mind that it might be a little slow for you, but I seem to like it. I like the
Okay.
characters that are floating around in it. So yeah.
A Man in the Inside? Is that what it is? Okay.
Oh, I think I meant that should be on the
Man
inside.
on the Inside. Okay. Gotcha. All right. I got a couple for you.
Okay.
We just finished watching, or I finished watching the Three Body Problem on Netflix. This has been out for about a year, so I remember people at work talking about it. And I just haven't gotten around to it. It's been on my list for a while. I said, I'm going to sit down and watch this. Very interesting sci-fi about it starts out in this very strange two-sided story about these people who are getting these gaming headsets to play this uber virtual reality game, and there's some scientists dying and it eventually puts those two storylines together. And the three body problem in science refers to if you've got a planet orbiting a trinary system with three stars, you can't really
Mhm.
ever predict where that planet will be and when. It's not like it's orbiting in any regular pattern around,
Oh,
say, a single
okay.
star system with an elliptical orbit. So that's what it refers to, and that works its way into the story. Didn't really care for the ending so much. I was hoping they'd have some better closure, but maybe they're leaving it open for a second season if that ever happens. One thing that I did find entertaining was about 30 minutes into episode 2, one of the scientists walks out of his house and he's going through the London tube system and he's on an escalator, and I spotted they were blurred out because the focus of the camera shot was on him,
Mhm.
but there were clearly several ServiceNow ads on the wall of this escalator.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like there's one on his right, one on his left, and there's one on that little railing in the middle. Yep. So I took
That's
a
funny.
video and I sent it off to Jim Lesser, who's our, corporate brand officer guy. And I said, Jim, did you know about this? He goes, yeah, that ad campaign is about 2 years old because that's when they were filming. And it aired about a year ago. And unless you're looking for it, it's not something that'll jump out at you. Like, but you immediately see that dark teal color and the neon green and the white, and you can even see in one place the ServiceNow logo if you look close enough, going, yeah, okay, I've been programmed by the corporate entity to see this way too much. I can even tell it wasn't a current campaign. That was funny. He never did tell me. I asked him, I said, was this a paid endorsement? Was it happy coincidence? Was it planned? Did you know about it? So I haven't got that answer out of him, but it was kind of fun to watch.
It's
But
like,
the rest of the show
Chuck,
is good.
didn't you retire? Why
That was
why
that
are
was
you
mind distracting, right?
Yeah.
Donna and I just finished watching season 2 of The Diplomat on Netflix. We watched season 1, very, very engaging, good drama series. Season 2 takes it a little step further. At the end of season 1, there's an explosion, and they take it right from there in season 2 and work their way forward. Good plot twists in this that you wouldn't see coming, and they ended season 2 just like they ended season 1, going, "No, you can't leave us with that cliffhanger." So,
Right.
we loved it. This is a good Us show, but if you're into, kind of, it sounds boring because it's around, like, US government officials, but they're in London, and a lot happens. I also, just as a side note, we just
Mhm.
finished that, and for whatever reason, I said, YouTube keeps throwing Interstellar in my face, and I have not seen that since it originally came out. I want to watch
Oh,
it again because I didn't remember the whole storyline. remember bits
Yeah.
and pieces. And, obviously the ending with black holes lead to the bookshelf.
Yeah. Right.
I'm watching this, and one of the crewmen, like, he's a guy with a beard and mostly bald head. Like, he sounds really familiar. He's in The Diplomat. Same guy, same speaking mannerisms, same everything. It's just he's got facial hair and a little bit of head hair in
Yeah.
Interstellar. It's like, oh, that's who it is. I said, Donna, come here, look at this. And I rewind it to a part where he's in it before he dies. Okay, spoiler alert, Interstellar's 10 years old. So deal with it. But it's the scientist who dies in the explosion on the icy planet. Well, he's trying to and he's he's like the British ambassador, head ambassador guy to the prime minister, uh, plays in The Diplomat as well. So I thought that was fun. I go, look at
Okay.
this. Guess who
Yeah.
that is? Now listen to the voice. And she got it. Third one I had is on YouTube. This was what I was talking about earlier. AFK, I believe, is the channel. I've got a link in here. It's called For the Empire. It is a
Well, if you're
couple of
watching the stream, I think Chuck's breaking up a little bit more.
he did the
There you go.
For the Empire, brings you up on it's done with Unreal Engine 5. So they're doing these, starting to have dial-up flashbacks tonight. Very nice.
Because you're breaking up on this end.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, I'm gonna keep going because the recording's on my end.
Yep.
So if you like Star Wars stuff, this is a fun parody. They even poke fun at Star Wars. It's about two stormtroopers. One's a newbie and one's a
Mhm.
veteran. And it's like, oh man, the new guy won't shut up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
poke fun at them. So it's like, so we're just supposed to stand here while Queen Amidala does her ceremony. Yep, that's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun in that, and they even have one where the stormtroopers are rehearsing a scene from when Lando tricks Han on the Cloud City. And you see Darth
Yeah.
Vader there. He goes, what stormtroopers, right? And that scene where C-3PO is wandering around. He opens a door. He goes, what?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, didn't know you. And then he gets blasted.
Yes. Yeah.
They're practicing this, and they go, okay, now we come in when Darth Vader says this, Boba Fett, go. And Boba Fett's not having any of it. He's like playing prima donna on them. And
Yeah.
then while they're rehearsing this for about the third time, that's when 3PO comes in and they blast him because they're interrupting their
Oh.
rehearsal. It's really
Yeah,
kind of funny
that's
how they
pretty good.
tie it in with actual scenes. So For the
Yeah.
Empire, I've also added a lot of stuff in the Geek Library. Take a look. A lot of it is science-based. A lot of it is history-based.
Mhm.
There's one in there about lawyer reacts to AI copyright claim, lost my video.
Oh.
So I watched a video by a guy who said, I generated AI and then put a digital claim on it and then started up another YouTube channel and used that and then claimed my own video and said I violated my own agreement. And like, this is nuts because there's absolutely no control over AI generated content right now. In fact, you could generate something in the style of, say, Taylor Swift right now and
Mhm.
digital claim that and put it on the internet and say anybody who writes something that's similar enough, including Taylor Swift, could be
Oh
blocked.
no.
So real artists could be blocked by AI based on it's like really crazy stuff these days. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to AI generated content in the next few years and the
Oh
litigation,
yeah.
the
Absolutely.
legalization of how that goes.
Mhm.
I see you added a couple
Hey.
more. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do have a couple more because I was doing some reading this last week as we were traveling, and I've been reading this book for probably a lot longer than I should have. I'm still got a little bit left to read, but I'm reading That Wild Country: An Epic Journey Through Past, Present, and Future of America's Public Lands, and it's a book by Mark Kenyon,
Okay.
and it's a mix, it's a blend between. He talks about his adventures with his trips with sometimes him and his wife or him and his friend where they'll go uh, whether it's rafting or hiking or a mix or whatever through these public lands that have been set aside obviously for everybody, and he talks about the history along of where they're at and why things are they are and how things came to be, like the Bob Marshall Reserve, or everything from Yosemite to the idea that we need to preserve these natural resources for everybody to be able to visit and reconnect with themselves, as well as enjoy the great outdoors and see the wild as it should be. And it's really cool. I'm really enjoying the book. So anyway, I just would recommend that one, That Wild Country. You can find it on Amazon or wherever. And
Cool.
Kim and Harrison were watching this, my wife and son. I caught an episode or two of it. The Harry Potter Wizards of Baking. It's a
It
Harry Potter themed
sounds
TV
like a
show.
magic version of the Great British Baking Show.
It
Fermenticus and largest. Hey, that saves a lot of time on proofing. Take that,
Hey,
Paul Hollywood.
have you seen it?
No.
Okay, so they take scenes from the movie, and like this last time, I think it was the banking hall, when of course they have Warwick Davis there as a judge and a couple other people, but they made scenes from the Great Hall, like even the desk that the bankers are sitting at. And when you look at it, it's like it's kind of an amazing piece that they put together. It doesn't look like that while they're making it. It looks like a disaster, but it all comes together. It's kind of fun, and I think you can find it on Hulu. It's on the Food Network, actually, but I think we found it on Hulu, and it was kind of fun to watch. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Lots and lots of stuff in the Geek Library. I apologize for those watching on the stream, as things may have been a little sketchy and the blip during the history segment. But we made it. We made it, Craig. We're going
Yes,
to
we
leave you
did.
question of the week for next time. You're stranded on a deserted island. Cliche, we know, but roll with us on this. And you can only bring 3 pieces of technology with you. What gadgets are you packing to ensure your survival and your sanity? You are allowed to bring Technorama podcast. I'll give you. Well,
Wait.
no, that won't save your sanity.
Well, do we have power on this island or not?
Solar. No, maybe a
I was gonna
solar
say,
pack would be one of the first
you
things to
may-
bring.
You want some solar power? My first thought was my NAS that has my old music collection on it, and photos. So that was, and then I thought iPod, and I went, wait a minute, what iPod? But oh well.
Your Wi-Fi router. Oh wait, then you have Wi-Fi but nothing to hook it to.
Right. Yeah. Right.
All right, think about that. 3 things. 3 things you can bring. All right. Thank you very much, Craig, for all the stories and whatnot. Thank you, dear listener, for hanging out with us through thick and thin. Not sure what happened technically, but yeah, we made it. We made it. And that's why I like having the recording on my side. So it works out. Till next time, give the listener line a call, 707. That was a short ending. How about the real one?
What'd you do?
60-second one. That was a 15-second one. There we go. Let's try the real one. Till next time. Think about giving us a call on the listener line, 707-530-CHAT. That's 707-530-2428. Or email us, technorama@chuckchat.com. Some of you do, and we appreciate it. You can find us on the internet anywhere you look for Technorama Podcast. Thanks for all the help, Craig. Thanks for the stories.
Yep. Well, you actually gave some this week, so
Yes, I've been finding them, and I marked them down in Notion, and I go, this sounds like it might make a good Technorama story. So
that's
I'm
right.
working into my new workflow, and it's working out quite well. Till then, give everybody a binary high five, and we're going to get out of here for another week.
All right. 101, everybody. Thanks.
Bye. Don't put on the red shirt.
Hey, don't cross the streams.
Sorry. But it's still good advice.
It is.
All right. We're going to shut down the live stream since we're hanging on by a thread. No programming joke intended.
Well, the only reason I mentioned that you were breaking up is because I was having trouble understanding where you're at, even understand what you're saying.
Hey, you broke up a little bit in one segment too, but it wasn't too bad. It came back.
Okay.
I did a speed test while you were talking, and it said everything's fine. So I'm not sure where the issue is at this point. But we're going to end the live stream, and with luck, we'll get a Patreon show out. Otherwise, we'll wait 24 hours and try that. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.